were one of the most hated players in college basketball, like history, like obviously Duke as well, but like it just in college basketball in general. And there were times where you talked about quitting.
Yeah.
And I've seen that is it true that you've changed your number at times, like your cell phone number?
Oh my God. So yeah, I mean, my sophomore year, I've probably changed it 10 or 15 times. There were so many nights that year where I don't know who was the culprit. It was somebody from Duke that had a friend at another school that would pass along my number. And, it was UNC fans mostly and Maryland fans mostly. And back then I had the Nokia, and so like I don't know if you could do this maybe in like the upgraded model my junior and senior year, but early on, like you couldn't
Like the snake
set an
model.
alarm and simultaneously have it on silent. So I would just get calls all night long, like 30, 40 calls. As soon as like the number shows up at a Maryland party or at a Maryland bar, like my shit's blowing up over and over and over again. So I had to deal with that. There were times that Maryland fans would call me. They would call me the Antichrist, which is just like, what? Again, this
is it true?
This goes back. No, it's not.
Okay, I was wondering if you.
No, but
gotta watch out, JP. You know what I'm saying?
It goes back to why sort of I felt like, in a way, we're all the main character in our own story, right? We're all a little bit narcissistic, I think, inherently.
A lot of ways.
Yeah. But Duke felt like this fishbowl, and I was like the main character, and everybody really hated me, and it was tough to deal with. So yeah, my sophomore year, and I may have told this story with Dan and Eric on their pod, but my sophomore year, I called my sisters to campus. It was during the Christmas break. I told them to come over from Raleigh, and they came over. There was this chicken place, and we grabbed a chicken sandwich, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I want to quit. And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, I want to be a normal student. I want to go to class. I want to be a frat kid. I think I probably said I wanted to write poetry. I think that probably came
Freehand
out of my
poetry.
mouth.
When you're depressed, that is the move.
It is the move.
That is the move for sure.
And then I didn't quit. Second semester, I went into what I would describe as a spiral. I was out every night, nights before games. I would drink 25, 30 beers.
Nights before games?
Yeah, show up the next day.
That many beers?
Oh, I counted. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You crush them like
the
that?
marker on the wrist type move?
After the season, do you guys remember the OC? Please tell me you watched the OC.
Yeah, I remembered it, but I did not watch it.
Yes, that was the show when I was in college. That was like, we would record it on VHS. We record it and like watch it later. So it was a Thursday, and I was like, the OC's on tonight. And I was like, I'm going to see how many beers I can drink tonight. And I started at 8:00 when the OC came on, and I got to like 39 by the next morning. And it was just like, that was my second semester at Duke. I was out of control. And a little bit of it was immaturity and selfishness. A little bit of it was rebellion, because I had my whole sporting life since I was 7 years old and watched Christian Laettner hit the shot to beat Kentucky. I was like, I want to go to Duke. I want to go to Duke. And it was like a dream come true. And then I get to Duke and I'm like, oh, everyone fucking hates my guts. Like, this is not what I signed up for.
Why did everyone hate you so much?
Because I was a Duke. I mean, if I'd gone to Florida or UVA, like, it would have been fine. I just would have been a normal kid.
Duke does have that hate vibe, huh?
They do. And it's like the white villain at Duke. Like, that was definitely part of it. I was next in line for that. Because we had like 11 or 12 games my freshman year that we played at the beginning of the season. It was like home games, and then we played like UCLA and Indianapolis. We played Ohio State and Greensboro for the Big Ten ACC Challenge. We didn't have a road game till after the new year, and we go to Clemson. We come out for warmups, and the entire student section is chanting shit. 2 weeks later, we go to UVA, my home state. There's all these students. I had really bad back knee in college, and I had there's all these kids wearing like makeshift white Duke number 4 jerseys, and they had painted like red dots on their shoulders.
That's hilarious.
By the way, I thought it was hilarious too. I was very
at
sensitive.
the time. Did you think it was funny?
I did, even though I was
really
very sensitive about my shoulder acne. I was like, man, that's fucking creative.
Why didn't you go t-shirt under the jersey then? If you're insecure about it,
it was a rule we couldn't do it. I convinced him my sophomore year. I went into his office. I may have cried, and I was just like, "You got to let me wear a fucking shirt under my jersey."
Damn,
And he's like,
you
okay,
said you
can
may
do it.
have cried.
When you say may have cried, you 100% cried?
I cried. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
You
cried.
brought-
That's a real deal.
Yeah. So the end of my sophomore year, we lost in the Final Four. It was a low point for me. We lost to UConn. We were up 8 with like 3.5 minutes to go, and they came back, and I had a chance twice actually. Once to take the lead with like 10 seconds left. I got stripped, and then I had a chance with like 5 seconds left to hit a 3 to tie us, and I missed them both. And that spiral that I was on went even deeper. And coach would like make me come in on Saturday mornings to his office, and he would meet with me. And he told me during one of those meetings, he said, we didn't win a national championship because you weren't worthy to be a champion. It was like the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me. And it was true. It was true, but it was like so soul cutting, right? That sent me further down. So my parents, because they knew I was having a tough time, for Christmas had given me a toy airplane. I'm like, what the fuck? It was a ticket, basically. They were like, wherever you want to go after the school year's out, you can go. So I'm like, all right. I was like, I want to go see my buddy, Duke soccer player. I want to go see my buddy in California. So I planned this trip. We went to Davis, California. We went to the Bay. We went to Santa Barbara. We went to LA, drove back up. Well, by the time I got to the trip, my parents knew that I was in a really bad place. I had $7 in my checking account. They're like, we're not going to give you any money for this trip. We'll let you still go on the trip. We're not going to give you any money. So I basically like bummed off people for those like 10 days I was out there. And I got back from the trip, and I was supposed to finish an incomplete because I had not gone to class all semester either. So I was supposed to finish an incomplete. So I'm hanging out at my buddy's apartment for like 2 weeks. And I would wake up at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I'd start chugging beers. I'd have a burrito, party through the night, wake up at 2 p.m. I did that for 2 straight weeks. No one knew where I was. I told my parents I was in summer school. I told Duke I was back home finishing my incomplete. One day I get a fucking rap at noon on the door of the apartment, and it's Coach Collins and Coach Wojo. So I walk downstairs. I've literally got, by the way, I have one outfit. It's a blue Abercrombie shirt and Abercrombie cargo shorts.
Oh, it was the times.
The cargo
It was the
shorts.
times.
It was the times.
Yeah.
And I've got these flip-flops that I had bought at the Gap in San Francisco with my last $5. They were on sale. And they're like, come outside. So I'm like, all right. So I weigh 195. I'm 225, bro. I'm fucking fat. I'm fat as fuck. I hadn't shaved in like 3 weeks. My hair's like SAE frat boy hair. You know what I mean? A little wavy, a little curly, right over the ears. They're like, come outside. We get in the car. We drive all the way back to
Just
campus.
give me a pause real quick. Where's your anxiety at when these dudes knock on the door?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Which is debilitating.
Debilitating. There was bongs everywhere as well. Like it was a bad scene. Beer cans everywhere. In a way though, and I was like, finally.
Really?
Yeah, someone came to get me. I was like, finally. And so we go to campus. We're getting ready to, this is a random part of the story, but we get ready to turn on campus, and Wojo looks in the rearview mirror and he's like, nobody said a word, by the way, since come outside. Like I just followed them into the car. We get to campus and he's like, so what have you been doing? And I was like, I don't know why I said this, but I was like, watching movies.